education. It's a hot topic. AI is everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once. How many of you have seen that movie? I don't know, but AI is in everything. So today, I'm going to ask you, how many of you are familiar with this kind of scene from your schooling days? Come on, don't be shy. Date yourself. I'm going to date myself right now. This was the earliest memory of my mom in a classroom. She was a teacher. She retired as an assistant school principal in one of the largest public school districts in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai. She won the state award. No, that's not her. We didn't have iPhones then. I couldn't take a picture. I was a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. This is a picture that I found in the internet. I paid, and then here it is. I asked my mom if she had a picture. She didn't have one. At that time, what stuck in my memory is how her back was turned to the students. Her hand was raised up high, and she was writing on the board. The tools that were available to her were analog: chalk piece, a duster, a textbook, a notebook. The students had notebooks and a pencil or a pen, depending on the grade that you were in. And she would often turn back, look at the students. She had 80 students in her classroom. I was an observer because she had brought me along. 80 students. She would turn back and look at whether the girls were following her, whether they were spaced out, were they conducting any gossip, mischief. And she would engage with them after the class because she didn't have time during the class. She had a plan. She had to write down the entire board. She got spondylitis because of that. I remember that. So where are we right now? That was 40 years ago. And she's one of the reasons I'm here in education and talking to you about AI. She was a science teacher. 40 years later, we have teachers in the classroom. They are still in the front of the classroom, but what's changed? Digital tools. Teacher has a computer, the students have the computer, right? So the teacher is still giving a lesson to the students. They are engaging the students. But they are either sometimes writing on the board or they are hunching over their computer. I know there's no computer in this picture, but trust me, I've been to many classrooms. There are computers in the US for the teachers. There are computers where the teacher is hunched over. Why am I talking about all of this to you? Because teacher community is extremely special to me because of my mom. I want to know and understand how I can reduce the burden on the teachers in the classroom for education and how we can use AI effectively for the same. That was one of the main reasons I am in AI, intersection of AI and education. I talked about teacher burden already, but what we have heard from teachers in the classroom is every 30 seconds or 60 seconds is all they have. Just 30 seconds or 60 seconds to transition between activities, especially younger kids, elementary kids. Those who have kids will understand this, right? They have to get their attention. If they lose the attention, there goes their lesson plan, there goes their goals. So what are we going to do about this? Before I start all of that, I know we are talking about AI. Here is an IBM computer from 1980s. I told you I'm going to date myself. And this was a computer, a picture of a computer that I got because my dad was curious, even before it was cost-effective to be in household. My dad got this, he was curious, and that sparked my curiosity. I know my parents will be happy because I mentioned both of them in this talk, right? But this is the one that introduced me to technology. This is the reason I am in technology. And this got me into the high-tech industries that Pankaj mentioned, either at Intel or Amazon, where I was developing V1 category of products. I was lucky enough to launch many products in both those companies. With Alexa, what I saw was the power of voice and how everybody, when I said that I'm in Alexa, either a kid or a senior would come and tell me how it's changed their life, how easy it has become for them to use. They didn't know that it was AI, but it was AI. In their living room, in their kitchen, in their bedroom, they trusted those devices to be in their household and welcome them. Kids used it, students used it. I've always wondered if I had the opportunity because of access to technology at such an early age, how about millions of others? How about 90% of the population which doesn't get access to technology as much as some of the privileged people like us do, right? So I'm here to talk about AI. Let's get to that. This is the pre-generative area. I mean, Pankaj talked about how AI has been around for a long time. AI has been around 30 plus years in education sector too. All these logos, of course, you can go and Google them later. But when my mom was a teacher, she had to grade 400 exam papers because she taught 5 sections. Imagine if that could have been helped with AI tool like GradeScope. In China, 1 in 4 schools use automated grading system, right? Duolingo, how many of you have used it? My son has assignments in Spanish on Duolingo, and it's personalized, it's adaptive learning. You know what also he does? He comes home and he compares notes with his grandmom who is learning Spanish on Duolingo. That's the power of AI tools in education. It is democratic. It can be for the kid, it can be for the adult, right? But one thing that you will notice in all of these tools, they work great in one-on-one setting for your student, for your teacher, which is amazing because you can learn at your pace. If you don't understand something, you can come back and learn with these tools in your comfort of home. However, I'm also here to talk about how something else can be done with AI, right? So I'll get to that later. One of the things about generative AI era, it is here, it is democratizing AI. This year, 280 plus tools have been launched just in Gen AI, EdTech tools. I'm talking only about EdTech. Many of you asked me about Khanmigo yesterday. Yes, they are here. Coursera, many of the stuff. But I also want to talk about where else you can use AI in the education, right? Some of the timeless elements, I'm part of a team which believes there is a timeless element of education. The founders of my company had a vision how AI can also be in the classroom. We know, and this is from research from learning sciences experts as well as cognitive sciences experts, that outcomes depend on an expert when they are engaged with a group of learners in a dialogic interaction. The learning outcome of students are always impacted by how engaged they are in the classroom, how teachers engage them, how they interact with each other, and how they debate and discuss. This is the human part of the story. And how are we helping with AI to that human who's at the center of the class, who's a teacher, who has to deal with 40 students right now, or maybe 30 students, right? So this is the vision of the company. This is the second reason why I'm in education. We believe the future of work. In education context, we believe that the future is to have an AI assistant for the teachers so that they can do best at what they do, which is engaging the students, learning them, and actually be with them, right? That is the vision for us. So that we remove the burden from the teachers, we help with the dialogic interaction in the classroom so that they can engage. So that is why at Merlin, we built safe, purpose-built. Our LLM, we built it, we optimized it. This generative tool is optimized for education purpose. So it's private, it's secure, it's safe, it is hallucination resistant, and it is pedagogically tuned. What does it mean? It understands what are the best moves for teachers, when to ask what kind of questions, right? And this is powered by Merlin on the teacher's laptop. The remote that you see has a microphone. You can talk to it. If I had the remote here, I would just say, start my presentation and play my video. I don't need a clicker. I would be giving voice commands, right? It has a voice, a remote, and UX that you can control. And teachers can present, play videos. They can ask a question. They can engage the students with curiosity by saying, explain photosynthesis, or compare it to something else, show, and they can also enable anywhere from the classroom. The teacher I can be there at the end of this room and say, show today's biology lesson, and it will pull up because it understands the context of the teacher, it understands the context of the classroom. It can also create an activity with three groups. There are so many things it can do. It can integrate with your edtech tools. It can automate things for you. I also saw students using our product in the classrooms. We are in thousands of classrooms in the US. We are trying to get into the other countries, and we want to get to Europe and India as well.
When the team showed me Merlin, and I could see what it could do through the remote and the voice activation, I thought, man, we're really onto something, because this is a case of technology making our teachers' lives so much more efficient.
My students and I love Merlin. We use it every day, and on my end, it's kind of like having a teacher assistant in your classroom, and I'm able to be away from my computer.
Being able to just be free of a computer so that I can be with my students. That is I think the key, because we talked earlier with them opening up a computer. If I'm on a computer, like, there's a certain amount of my attention that is taken away from them. Like, I'm having to look at a screen and then get back to them. I'm having to manipulate something on the computer to get back to them.
Yeah, so the place I'd like to have Merlin in my district is in every classroom.
So the opportunity, why we want to go into classrooms and be in the classroom, is because we can scale for every student to have AI at the same time, not just individually on their computer alone, or not just teacher's computer alone. It is a communal experience. It's in one-to-many experience as well. We believe that. And before I stop today, I do want to come back to a personal story. That is a picture of my not yet 2-year-old interacting with Alexa, and you can see the Alexa blue light, right? And the reason I show this is, one of the first few words he learned to talk was AXA, and Alexa would respond. For the technologist in me, that was a very proud moment, because I built that device and it was so powerful that it could listen and understand it. For the parent in me, it was a little bit amusing, and I was like, okay, is this what I really want for him? But then I understood technology is everywhere, AI is everywhere, in the living room, in the house that they are growing up with. They swipe through the YouTube, and there is recommendations that's based on AI. So it is in the privileged hands of few, but to get that to everyone in the classroom, for the non-privileged as well, but to also make them lose the fear of using technology or AI, I think it's important to have AI in the classroom, visible, not invisible, visible in front of them, so that the students can use voice and learn to use AI. That to help every teacher and learner, that's our goal, to get Merlin in the classroom. Thank you very much.